Hello and welcome back to Cataclysm University. My name is Vormithrax and this is course number 5, in which we're going to be talking about the zoom and view keys. Should be a quick one, just a couple of keys I wanted to specifically mention and show their usefulness, especially to newer players. So the default view, I'm not sure what view zoom level it's at when you very first start the game, but it can be changed quickly and easily to your comfort level, and I zoom in and out fairly often while I play, depending on the lighting conditions, whether I'm traveling in an area where I think there are zombies or other dangers nearby, and so on. So the way you do it, though, is just the Z and Shift Z, or capital Z keys, will move forward or backwards in the zoom levels. So here's an example. I'm just going to tap Z a few times. So you can see it cycles through and then will repeat back up to the top of the loop. So that's as close as I can get. If I tap it again, it moves back out as far as possible and then back in again. So you got about 5 zoom levels, I believe. You can pick whatever you're comfortable with for the situation you're in at the time. If it's nighttime and you can only see about this much of the screen, there's no reason to be zoomed way out. You might as well zoom in and get a look at your sexy character. But during the daytime, if you're traveling, you might want to have it zoomed way out, so while you're moving, you can see things far away that are moving towards you. So, Z key, and then the Shift Z just reverses the direction of the zoom, so you can zoom out. Works the same way, just picks the other direction. Alright, so that's the zoom key. That's one of your viewing controls. Now, the other thing that's important to know about is the Shift V key. That's capital V. And what this does is it allows you to look at your local area, and there's actually 2 different modes to it. So if you look up here, right now it says Tab key and then Items. If you hit the Tab key, it switches to Monsters. So that's the 2 different modes. You can either look at items and gear that are around you in sight, or you can look at monsters that are around you in sight. Now, it's important to distinguish and move back and forth between these depending on what you're doing and where you're at for a couple of reasons. But now there's one other option. You can sort. So if you've got a big pile of items that you've just finished massacring a horde of zombies, there's stuff just splattered and scattered all over your screen, you can bring this view up, bring the items list up specifically, and then you can sort either by distance, meaning how far away the items are, or you can sort by category. So it'll show you ammo, then it'll show you guns, then it'll show you clothing, then it'll show you food, and so on. So it groups the items accordingly. You also have a few options down here to examine, compare, filter, or change priority levels. So you can adjust or play with those however you'd like. Filter I find I use fairly often so that if I have a huge pile, I can filter to show me just certain things or a specific object I might be looking for. Just depends on how cluttered your list is. You can take advantage of these various features to make it easier to get specific information. So sort is for changing things for the category or distance, and then tab switches between monsters and items. Now, the other information that's shown, obviously it's the item. This is the amount, so quantity 40 of the 270 Winchester ammo rounds. This here is also important. It tells you it's 5 spaces to the west. And you can see here the little yellow dots showing you where that item specifically is located. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces due west of me is where that item's at, just laying on the ground underneath his feet. So if I cancel out of that, let's drop something that direction, our permanent marker. I bring the view up again. You can see what I mean. Permanent marker, 2 to the southeast. So southeast, 2 spaces. You can use your arrow key to move up and down the list, and you'll see the highlight and the path changes based on which one you've got highlighted. So that's how, if you've got a big pile of stuff and you only want one item out of that huge list, just highlight the item. You'll get the little path indicator pointing to exactly where it's at, and that way you'll know where to go over to grab it. So on the other screen, the monsters, it's showing you a couple of important things. So the name of the monster, obviously, the status, if you know it, of the monster, and this is an NPC that I can see the status of. He's ignoring me and he's 4 to the west. Now this little indicator here, the exclamation point, is super important. That tells you whether or not he is aware of you. So I am close enough and the lighting is good enough that Dominic Boyce there, he sees me, he knows I'm there, and were he hostile, he would probably be shooting me with that gun that he's using. So when you've got monsters in the area, and I don't know if I've got Yeah, there's a few. Oh, safe mode just prevented me from moving, which is exactly what it should do. So let's use our view command. And this works similarly to the inventory, where whenever I use my arrow keys to highlight, it zooms the view to that location. So I can see from the path that way to my southeast is this spitter zombie. It's green because that's selected. It's hostile. It's 48 spaces to the southeast, but it does not have an exclamation point. He does not see me. I'm too far away for him to spot me or know I'm here. So unless I bring attention to myself by getting closer or making loud noises or something else, he's just going to do his own thing and wander around and do whatever. So, very important information. He's hostile, what he is, the fact that he's either spotted me or not, and then exactly which direction he's at. And at the top you can see I've got 1 selected out of 4 monsters. So that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and the screen will zoom to that location. Ooh, moose. Go away, moose. Moose are bad. Alright, so that's how that section works. Very useful and important information to know about. Turn off safe mode so I can move again. Turn it back on now. Alright. So that's the view mode, and the third one that I wanted to mention is a way of detaching the cursor so you can scroll the screen around beyond what your viewing area is. So what do I mean by that? So this is what I can see when I zoom all the way out currently. If I were zoomed in to a comfortable level and I wanted to see something off to the right, what I do is press the X key. That detaches a cursor from your body. You can now move that cursor around wherever you'd like. Now, it's only useful to move it around in areas you can actually see, but if I wanted to get a close-up view way out here, this is the way to do it. It's also the same essential way that your mouse works, so whatever that bracket lands on, it's showing you information over here about what that object is. So as I move around, there's grass, there's the shrub. So it's essentially the same thing as the mouse cursor, but it allows you to scroll the screen around to different locations so that you can get a good view of various things. So when I'm tooling around in my vehicle, for example, if something interesting is off to the side of the road but outside of my normal view range, and I don't want to zoom out because I won't be able to see very well, then I just detach the cursor carefully, move it over to the location I want to look at, and see what's there. So those are the primary ways that you can change your view or get a look at the area around you within the game of Cataclysm. So, I hope you found the information helpful. As always, look forward to seeing you in future episodes. And if you have any other questions about this or any of the other topics, do check out my Discord channel. Leave questions there. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have and provide any other assistance or just chat about the game. That's about it. So, hope you have a good day.